You're watching another edition of the NFL Daily Mailbag. I am Will Scott, answering your questions during our live show. If you missed our last live show, we're live every Monday and Wednesday at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. Jimmy Robinson, $2. We appreciate you. I'm saying, I'm a Bengals fan. Just send Lamar Jackson to the NFC. Look, I'm sure it was a rough morning for Ravens fans, but it was a really good morning for fans of the Bengals, the Browns, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, because Lamar Jackson appears to be leaving the AFC North. So we'll see where he goes. I do think that the Lions or the Commanders might make some sense if you're talking about an NFC team. I'm sure we'll get some more Lamar Jackson questions on today's show. We'll go to Jeffrey Fogel now, though, saying, what do you see the Steelers doing about strong safety? That certainly remains a need on Pittsburgh. They're probably going to draft somebody. That's what I would expect Pittsburgh to do. I'm surprised they weren't a little bit more aggressive there in free agency. Richard Lococo, Bears fan, we appreciate you. Who is this coming running back from the draft? Is like David Montgomery's skill type. And do you think the Bears will trade down? And what wide receiver would they trade? And team would it be? I don't know if the Bears are going to trade any wide receivers. Obviously they were linked to a lot of guys in the draft, but after trading for DJ Moore, I don't expect them to trade a wide receiver, draft a wide receiver in the first round at this point. In terms of a running back to monitor, maybe Sean Tucker kind of has that David Montgomery running style. I will say that it is a loaded running back class. You're going to be able to get some quality guys second or third round. Devin Achane's really good. Tyjae Spears is really good. I mentioned Sean Tucker. You got Bijan Robinson probably going first round. So there's a lot of quality options at running back. Tank Bigsby as well. So I'm sure the Bears will find somebody in the draft to kind of help fill that void. Carter Reimer saying, will Braxton Berrios have a Deebo Samuel-like role in Mike McDaniel's offense? He might have a Deebo Samuel-like role. I don't expect him to put up Deebo Samuel type of production, though, and I'm a big Berrios fan. I really like that signing from Miami. He certainly has potential, Carter, to be the third Dolphins wide receiver behind Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Also probably going to be the starting kick and punt returner for a Dolphins team that really didn't have much consistency there last year. So in terms of Deebo Samuel, getting him on some jet sweeps, slants, him running the football, I think that's possible. But I think he's going to be more of just a slot wide receiver, special teams guy for the Dolphins. But he's going to be really, really solid. He went to the U, so he's back home in Miami. Chad Bradford, where will DeAndre Hopkins get traded? That's a great question. Here are some potential Hopkins destinations. The Buffalo Bills are certainly a team that's been linked to him a lot. Maybe pair him with Stephon Diggs. The Kansas City Chiefs, they've expressed some interest potentially. The Tennessee Titans, they need wide receiver help very badly. Panthers as well, and the Baltimore Ravens. I don't think Hopkins will go to Baltimore, though, if Lamar Jackson left. So I actually talked to someone who's pretty plugged in with the Buffalo Bills who said the Bills are going after DeAndre Hopkins. Now, does that mean the Bills are going to land him? No. But I do know that the Bills are aggressive right now in terms of trying to land DeAndre Hopkins, trying to get him to Buffalo to pair him with Stephon Diggs. They let Isaiah McKenzie walk. They're trying to improve that wide receiver room. They got Trent Sherfield. DeAndre Hopkins might be the next move here for the Buffalo Bills. Where's Hopkins going to play in 2023? Let me know down in the comment section. Where's Hopkins going to play this next season? Right now, I think it's going to be the Buffalo Bills. The Giants are another team to watch, though. Aiden, we appreciate the question. Could the Panthers get Lamar or D-Hop? Well, they were linked to Lamar, and then they trade up to number one. So no, they're not gonna trade out of number one and sign Lamar. I expect them to hold on to that number one spot in the draft and probably draft C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young. D-Hop is a possibility, and we've seen the Panthers be aggressive adding wide receivers. They got Thielen. They got DJ Shark. I could see them adding somebody else. But yeah, D-Hop makes a lot of sense for the Panthers. You want your rookie quarterback to be in the best possible position to succeed. We saw what happened when Tua Tagovailoa got some help. I think we're going to see the effects next year of Justin Fields getting some help, when Josh Allen got some help. So those guys didn't have much help their rookie year. Whoever the Panthers draft quarterback, they want him to be supported his rookie year. They got Frank Reich, which is huge, as the head coach. You got to go out and get him another wide receiver. I think maybe DeAndre Hopkins makes some sense. But I'd say no to Lamar there. Anthony Oliveira, thanks for watching and thanks for the question. Does Bijan Robinson go in the first round? Absolutely. Bijan Robinson is going to be a first-round pick. I think the question is, where is he going to go? And this might sound crazy. He could be a top 12 pick. Now, I could see some team, with one first-round pick, whether it's somebody at 10 or 11, saying, he's not going to be here when we pick second round, and they take him, because he's by far the best running back prospect in this class. I think he's going to have a really big rookie year, maybe even be in the conversation for offensive rookie of the year. But yeah, Bijan's going first round. A lot of people think he goes top 20. I think he goes top 15. Speaking of the draft hats have dropped, and you can go rep your team at chatsports.com/NFL draft. Really, really good selection here. I think every single cap this year is absolute heat. Better than last year's, producer Jack Lauderay saying. Chatsports.com/NFL draft. Hats, go and pick yours up. Chatsports.com/NFL draft. Hats, that link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Chad Jones, appreciate you watching again. Chris Grier, Dolphins GM, said they were looking to sign offensive linemen. Who do you think they will go after? Well, he's been saying that, and he hasn't been doing it. I've been really shocked at the Dolphins' approach on the offensive line for agency. Dolphins have been really good in free agency, but not in that particular area. I think George Fant's going to be a Dolphin. He's a name I've heard consistently linked. Isaiah Wynn is still available. Cameron Fleming is still available. There's better options than George Fant, but I think they're going to sign George Fant. Parlay. Does Bijan Robinson replace Ezekiel Elliott? That's the dream if you're a Cowboys fan, that Bijan somehow falls to the Cowboys in the late 20s. Do I think that's going to happen? No. If it does happen, you best believe that Jerry Jones is going to pick up the phone and draft Bijan Robinson. I think that makes a lot of sense. Now, you've heard the Cowboys maybe linked to Austin Eckler, Derrick Henry. They're already paying Tony Pollard over $10 million this year, so I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense for them. Eddie Monty, does Lamar Jackson make sense for the Houston Texans? Maybe. They have the number 2 overall pick right now. They can maybe trade 2 and 12 to land Lamar. I don't know if the Texans should do that. If I'm the Texans and I know the Panthers are taking C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young's going to be there too, who I would take at 1, I'm probably going to take Bryce Young and then draft a wide receiver at number 12. But that's a tough call for Houston. Laramie Tunsil was actually on Twitter earlier today recruiting Lamar to the 713. Should the Texans trade for Lamar Jackson? Y for yes or in for no down in the comments section. They certainly have the draft capital to land him. But would they do it? Should they do it? Y for yes, in for no. Let me know down in the comments section. And we're going to have you covered with nonstop NFL news, draft content, trades, free agency, and more. So be sure to subscribe today. We're about a month away from the draft. The draft is a huge deal here at Shad Sports. We're going to be live every single second of the draft. So be sure to subscribe. The channel will have you covered during the NFL offseason. Brandon, thanks for the question. What other signings do you see the Lions make? What other signings do you see the Lions making? Because they're still top 10 in cap space. That's a good question. I would say running back. But maybe I think they're going to look to the draft. I'll say this. I think the Lions are in really good shape right now. I really do. Maybe they'll look to add a wide receiver. I haven't seen them linked to Odell Beckham Jr., but maybe a wide receiver is something they're going to look to do. But, man, the Lions have had a good offseason. Definitely look for them in the Lamar Jackson sweepstakes. Ryan saying, if the Ravens trade Lamar, do you see them going for a draft quarterback this year or next year? That's a really good question. I've heard they're really high on Anthony Richardson, but they're going to have to trade up to get Richardson. So I don't know. If they can't land Richardson, they're probably going to just have Tyler Huntley be the guy next year and to see if he's the guy. If he's not, you have Drake May and Caleb Williams available next year. So I would say next year, Ryan. I would say next year. Tyrell Johnson asking, first QB to get extended. Who's it going to be? There's some options when you're talking about that answer. Taking a look. We'll break down the list here in a second. Lindsey Thierry tweeted this out from the league meetings this morning. Chargers coach Brandon Staley says that contract discussions are ongoing with quarterback Justin Herbert. So might be Justin Herbert to answer your question there. Here are some extension candidates. You have Justin Herbert, you have Joe Burrow, and Jalen Hurts. I think all three of those guys are going to get extended this offseason. It might be Justin Herbert, though, the first one to get an extension done. And whichever quarterback gets that extension first is going to reset the market. Who is the first quarterback that's going to get an extension? Let me know down in the comments section. What do you think? First quarterback that's going to get extended. Chua saying, how should the 49ers address their offense and defense? Well, they've had a really good offseason. You got Hargrave. I mean, that was absolutely huge. I feel like offense right now, it might be the bigger question mark, Chua just because of the quarterback position. Brock Purdy, I'm hoping he's fully healthy. And if he is fully healthy, he should be the guy. If not, I guess Trey Lance might be the backup plan, have them kind of compete for that starting job. But man, right now the Niners are just absolutely loaded. I would say right now y'all might be the favorites to win the Super Bowl. The Niners, though, might be a dark horse for Lamar Jackson. We'll see. Lane Builder, too, saying, here we go again with these Lamar to Atlanta rumors. I have always been on the no Lamar train, but one question that lingers is that if we actually get him, realistically, what would we have to give away? Well, here's the complication, RC Plane Builder. He signed the non-exclusive franchise tag. So if he signs with the Falcons, he can sign with the Falcons, and then you give up 2 first-round picks, which, isn't a terrible deal for Lamar. But since he's requested a trade, the Ravens are probably going to get more for him than 2 first-round picks. It might be a Deshaun Watson-like package having to give up 3 first-round picks. So that's a hefty asking price, RC Plane Builder. So if I'm you, that's why I'm iffy about Lamar to Atlanta. But if you're iffy about Lamar to Atlanta because you think Desmond Ritter's the guy, I just don't know about that take. He's just not proven right now. We'll have you covered with all these Jackson rumors, NFL draft content, all the above when you're talking about the National Football League. So subscribe to the channel right now and be sure to join us for our next live show.